So we saw last time Ashwapati in deep meditation and receiving some kind of a command, some sort of an adesh. He is seeing the possibility of things moving forward when his daughter has now matured up to a proper age, that things can start happening now quickly. And some other things which he hears in the trance, in that meditation, in that contemplation of his, are the indication of what has to follow. For instance, let us read a couple of passages from the last times, 98.22. He has lost the inner voice that led his thoughts. Now, this he is man. Man who loves ignorance, who is in love with pain. A spell is laid upon his glorious strength. He is not really able to use his own strength fully, properly, in the right direction. And therefore, we have got this thing. He has lost the inner voice that led his thoughts. And masking the oracular tripod seat, his specious idol fills the marble shrine. Now, this is a wonderful description which we could not do last time, but let me give you some idea about it. What is this tripod seat? What is this oracle? What is idol? In fact, as we know, Shivendu was very, very, very well versed in Greek literature, in Greek civilization, in Greek poetry, in Greek mythology, and every now and then in Savitri we have references to those writings and to those ideas and thoughts. Now this tripod seat, oracular tripod seat, essentially it is referring to the tripod in the temple of Delphi, in the Delphi's temple. And Apollo is the god of that temple, and the oracular sits on that. So, according to the mythology, this is struggle for this tripod, the struggle between Apollo and Heracles. Heracles had completed all his 12 labors, difficult labors and all that, and he wanted to marry a particular princess and all that, and then ultimately he lands up into the shrine of Delphi there, and there he wants to carry away the tripod to fulfill something else, and there he meets the resistance from god Apollo. Obviously, they're fighting, and there are of course very beautiful vases with the depiction of the story, the Greek vases, as old as 2500 years at least. And it is a reference to that oracular tripod seat. Oracular Pythia, she is the priestess or the goddess of that particular thing who gives oracles there. And she always gave generally very clear statement, makes generally very clear statements, but at times they could be interpreted in two ways depending upon how you look at them. So they were very confusing also. One of the famous examples is about the war between the Greeks and Darius, King Darius. And then when somebody approached the oracle there, she said, the Greeks, the Persians will defeat. Now you can interpret it both way. The Greeks, the Persians will defeat, or the Greek, the Persian. So that is a kind of a statement is used to make. You see, the other famous statement is, "Go, return not from the war. Return not from the war to return not to die in the war. Return not to die in the war. Go, return not to die. So go, return not, die in the war, or go, return, not die in the war." Absolutely the opposite kind of significance. So that is the thing the oracle should do. See, now here of course there is no duplicity of that kind in the descriptions here, but the struggle is there for the tripod seat between Apollo and Heracles. He has lost the inner voice. Because he has lost his inner voice, therefore this confusion is there. You don't have to run to the oracles. That has led thoughts and masking the oracular tripod seat. And on the tripod seat, who sits now? Not the real idol, but a mask of it. That is what Ashwapati is seeing in his vision there. Then the great illusion wraps him in its veils. Everything is covered in the case of man by an illusion. The soul's deep intimations come in vain. Heaven's flaming lights descend and back return. They come and return. This is the fate of man. Yes, the lights do come, but they are not able to stabilize themselves here. They go back to heaven here. Heaven's flaming lights descend and back return. The luminous eye approaches and retires. There is the supervising eye seeing the whole thing here, but he sees and again retires, goes back. Eternity speaks, none understands its word. Fate is unwilling and abyss denies. The inconscious, mindless waters block all done. Ages after ages, whatever progress has been made, then the waters come and block the further progress. Only, pardon? Yeah, well, that, yeah, yeah, yeah. We are rushing through that part, you see. Only a little lifted his mind's screen. So that is all we can do. Mind screen is just partly removed, and some kind of a vision is there. If our ear really opens out to some extent, then that lost voice, that inner voice, can be heard. But beyond that, as mental beings, we do not have any further capacity at all. Only a lifted left, only a little lifted his mind screen. The wise who know see but one half of truth. That is our fate. We only see a part of the truth, not the full truth. The strong can hardly climb to the great heights which are there present for us. The wise is useless, the strong is useless. Then what happens? The hearts that yearn are given 1 hour to love. So that is the transient nature of all the things here, all the relations here. His tale, half told, falters the sacred bar. Yes, the poet is writing the story of man's soul, but he is trembling, he is faltering. He cannot complete the full story at all, you see. He falters. The gods are still too few in mortal forms. They have not been able to enter into human stuff, you see, gods. Unless that thing happens, there cannot be any further progress. Now, in other words, this is the background, this is the context in which things have to happen. Is it going to be always like that? Will the wise say the full truth? Will the strong be able to climb the great heights? Will the inspired bard write the complete epic? Will it happen, or will it be our permanent fate, the way in which we are? That is the question which is being posed here. The voice withdrew into his hidden skies. So Ashwapati, in the trance, he's seeing all these things, he's hearing these questions, and then in answer to that, but like a shining answer from the gods, approach through sunbright spaces, Savitri. Yes, the answer to all these questions which are here. She is the answer. She has come now. From where? From sun-bright spaces, from the world of light, from the supramental regions. She has come here. She will answer all these questions. She is the one who will make, who will give to the wise the full truth. She is the one who will make the strong to climb the full height. All those things will happen. She is the answer. The voice withdrew into its hidden sky, but like a shining answer from the gods, approached through sunbright spaces, advancing amid tall, heaven pillaring trees, apparelled in a flickering, colored robe. That is the princess's dress, beautiful apparel, shining, lustrous. She seemed burning towards the eternal realm. She has taken a human birth, but she is a flame climbing up to the realms of the eternal. She is seen burning towards the eternal realm, a bright moved torch of incense and of flame. She is a torch, she is a flame, and incense rising up like that. That from the sky roofed temple soil of earth, a pilgrim hand lifts in an invisible shrine. That is what the devotee will do. He will raise the flame, and Savitri is that flame rising from earth to the skies, to heaven. But like a shining answer from the God, approach through sunbright spaces, Savitri. Now, there is a very beautiful description, as I told you earlier, of this particular scene. Savitri approaches here. Suddenly, she presents herself to her father. In Mahabharata story, Vyasa story of Savitri, when Savitri has grown up fully, on one particular auspicious occasion, she performs a special kind of religious ceremony on the full moon. In fact, today is the full moon, and the biggest full moon of the year. And today is also, according to our traditions, the day full moon on which Satyavan had died, and he was revived, so to say, on this particular day by Savitri. It happened in this month, in June, full moon, according to the tradition. June, roughly about this time, Jeshta, as we call it, the beginning of the ready season. You see. Huh? Today, yeah, yeah. Yeah. And then it is on this, and she sits under the banyan tree, what banyan tree, huge big tree, and then the death occurs there, and then she follows him and claims him back and all that. All that thing happened on this particular day, you see, on this tradition. So anyway, before that, I mean, when Savitri has grown into full youth, uh, she does on a full moon day a certain type of a puja, religious rites and things like that, what we call parvani in the Sanskrit word. And in the chanting and homa and all those things are then fire worship, that sort of a thing. And after the whole thing is over, she takes some fruits and some prasad, sweets, and offers them to her father. She goes to the palace after the puja is over, and then she presents herself to the father. She goes around him and then gives these things to her, to him, to her father, according to this Savitri story. And there, at that time, as if her father recognizes that, oh, this girl has become now of a marriageable age, and something has got to be done. And then he tells her that, look, as nobody has come forward to claim your hand, you are now absolutely free to search your own life's partner, your own mate. You go around and find out somebody who is suitable, who is worthy of you. It tells what kind of a person He should be in all that. He should be worthy of you. And then we shall arrange the marriage, etc., etc. Now, that is how Savitri is presented by Vyasa to her father. Here, the description is Ashwapati is seeing a problem in the creation. We are only with half wisdom, with feeble strength. We don't have all the full capabilities, and there has to be an answer for those things. There have to be reach fullness. And in answer to that inner query of his, presents Savitri. And then he tells Savitri, Savitri, look, now in order to fulfill this, that the world is like this, like this, like this, you have to come forward and do something, find a proper mate by which all these problems can be solved. So that is the kind of a storyline which is developed here, you see. But like a shining answer from the gods, approached through sunbright spaces, Savitri, advancing amid tall heaven-pillaring trees, apparelled in a flickering colored robe. See this line, apparelled in a flickering colored robe. See the alliterations of else and us. See, very beautiful. See, she seemed burning to the eternal realm, a bright moved a torch of incense and a flame that from the sky-roofed temple soil of a pilgrim hand lifts in an invisible shrine. There came the gift of a revealing hour. He saw through depths that interpret all. He, of course, Ashwapati, the moment he sees Savitri in front of him, then he at once interprets all from that depth. Yes, she is the answer for all those questions which had arisen in him. Limited now, not now, by the dull body's eyes. Some occult eye has opened out, and it is through that occult eye, the luminous eye, he is able to see Savitri from a different point of view. Limited not now by the dull body's eye, new found through an arch of clear discovery, this intimation that the world's a delight, that is the description of Savitri. Who is Savitri? See the intimation, advanced information, so to say, of the world's delight, this wonder of the divine artist made. Savitri is that intimation, Savitri is that wonder. Whose wonder? The divine artist himself has made Savitri like that. This intimation of the world's delight, this wonder of the divine artist made, carved like a nectar cup for thirsty gods. So she is a cup in which you pour the wine, and the gods, thirsty gods, means they are anxious to drink the wine offered by Savitri. Their thirst will be quenched only when the drink comes from Savitri. That is the nature of Savitri's greatness, you see. Also. Can't like a nectar cup for thirsty God, this breathing scripture of the eternal joy. Savitri is the scripture. So he has described Savitri in various ways. This net of sweetness, woman of aureate fire. So the fire himself is weaving this golden net. Savitri is that. So he has described Savitri in so many ways. Ashwapati is found this intimation, this wonder, nectar cup, scripture, net of sweetness. These are the descriptions of Savitri, you see, given very poetically and very relevantly also, meaningfully. Transformed the delicate image face became. The moment he sees that whole beautiful Savitri's face, he looks now from a different perspective. A deeper nature, self-revealing sign. Yes, it is the deeper nature of the soul which is revealing itself through Savitri. A gold leaf palimpsest of sacred birds, a grave world symbol chiseled out of life. World symbol chiseled out of life. So life itself is a carving stone. And out of that, Savitri is considered as a as a statue. But then this line, a gold leaf palimpsest of sacred birds. Now, palimpsest, of course, is a gold leaf, and then you keep on writing and erasing script, whatever writing is there. So they can write over and over again, three, four times like that. So this is connected with the sacred births of Savitri. Earlier, the births of Savitri. Those stories are kind of written on this palimpsest, and it is that which Ashwapati is able to see when he sees her daughter, that she has been taking birth, golden birth, and a story is being written again and again on that thing. And it is that story now which has to go forward and be completed, so that no more story will be required to be written on that. Deeper nature's self-revealing sign, a goldly palimpsest of sacred birth, a grave world symbol chiseled out of lime. Her brow, a copy of clear, unstained heavens, as in an autumn sky. There is no trace of cloud, nothing. Clear. That is the kind of a brow she had. A copy of clear, unstained heaven was meditation's pedestal and defense. It is in that clear sky that the true meditation can occur. The very room and smile of musing space, its brooding line, infinity's symbol curve. This is the description of Savitri in a very poetic manner. Amid a tresses cloudy multitude, her hair, cloudy multitude, the long eyes shadowed as by wings of night, so the dark eyes as if they're wings of night itself. Under that moon gold foreheads, dreaming breath, were seas of love and thought that held the world. That is the width of Savitri's love. That is the dimension of Savitri's thought, that it can hold the entire world in them. Was seas of love and thought that held the world. So the sea is holding the world, you see, and the sea is Savitri's love and Savitri's thought. Marveling at life and earth, they saw truths far. So not the immediate truth, the distant truth, which should come here and be here. That is what it means here. Marveling at life and earth, they saw truths far. A deathless meaning filled her mortal limbs. This is what Ashwapati sees in his daughter. In his daughter, he says that there is some kind of a deathless meaning in her mortal limbs. She has taken a human birth, but there is something deathless in him. A deathless meaning filled her mortal limb. As in a golden horse's pliant line, they seem to carry the rhythmic sob of bliss, of earth's mute adoration towards heaven, released in beauty's cry of living form toward the perfection of eternal things. So it is aspiring constantly to the perfection of eternal things. As in a golden horse's poignant line. This word poignant is, it should be pronounced as poignant, not poignant. It's not poignant. It is poignant, you see, this is the pronunciation. As in a golden horse poignant line, although I would like to pronounce here as poignant because of the G alliteration. Golden horse is poignant. Poignant line, see. They seem to carry the rhythmic sob of bliss, of earth's mute adoration towards heaven, release in beauty's cry of living form toward the perfection of eternal things. She's already seeing in that manner. Transparent grown, the ephemeral living dress, bare the expressive deity to his view. Through her dress, he sees the pure form of Savitri. Expressive deity. The goddess she is according to Vyasa, Deva Kanya, the daughter of the god, Deva Kanya. Expressive deity. She is that, Deva Kanya here. Bear the expressive deity to his view. escaped from surface script and mortal sense. The seething harmony of his shapes became the strange, significant icon of a power, renewing its inscrutable descent into a human figure of its works that stood out in life's bold, abrupt relief on the soil of the evolving universe. A goddess sculptured on a wall of thought. So, wall of thought, on that this goddess is sculptured. Mirrored in the flowing hours and dimly shrined in matter as in a cathedral cave. The way in which the statue is put in the cathedral cave, it is in that manner Savitri is standing in front of him. Mirrored in the flowing hours, the passage of stream is there, of time is there, and she is sort of seen as in that mirror of time, mirrored in the flowing hours and dimly shrined in matter as in a cathedral cave, annulled with the transient values of the mind. So all that mind has made, all the superficial things, half-seen things, they were nullified, annulled with the transient values of the mind. The body's sense renounced its earthly look, immortal met immortal in their gaze. Now, this is immortal met immortal in their gaze. It is a description of both of Ashwapati and Savitri. It is Ashwapati who is looking into Savitri. He is immortal. She is immortal. They had taken human birth and they are looking into each other's eyes. Immortal met immortal in their gaze. So she's standing in front of him and they're looking now into each other's eyes. This is the description of Savitri. Awaked from the close spell of daily use that hides soul truth with the outward form's disguise, he saw through the familiar, cherished limbs the great and unknown spirit born, his child. So this is the power of the meditation which Ashwapati had. In the trance in which he had fallen, he sees now the real reality, the truth personality of Savitri standing in front of him. Immortal met immortal in their gaze, awaked from the close spell of daily use that hides soul truth with the outward forms disguised. He saw through the familiar, cherished limb the great and unknown spirit born, his child. Now, this is a very wonderful kind of a device, poetically. Awaked, in fact, in English, awaked doesn't exist you see, as a past tense, you see. But he uses here awaked. Awaked, he can take that liberty. Awaked from the close spell of daily use. And an impromptu from the deeper side within, one who makes spontaneous speeches, spontaneous response, that impromptu. From the deeper side within, thoughts rose in him that knew not their own scope. Suddenly, spontaneously, thoughts are arising from him. And they are now being expressed by Ashwapati. Then, to those large and brooding depths whence love regarded him across the straits of mind, he spoke in sentences from the unseen heights. So, it is under that inspiration, he is speaking something as a kind of instruction, advice to Savitri. He spoke in sentences from the unseen high, a casual, but what is the power of that sentence? That is what is going to happen now here. But you see, even normally in the ordinary cases, even a casual phrase is enough for us to give a different turn to our events of life, you see. A casual passing phrase can change our life. Now this is kind of an epigrammatic statement. In between somewhere in Savitri, you have got regular statements like that, one line sentences, you see. A casual, but this is not a casual statement which Ashwapati is going to make. This is loaded with the full force of that meditation. A casual passing phrase can save our life. For the hidden prompters of our speech sometime can use the formulas of a moment's mood. Those who prompt to speak, they are sort of persuading him to speak there. To weigh unconscious lips with words from fate. Now Ashwapati is going to speak about that. For hidden prompters of speech sometime can use the formulas of a moment's mood to weigh unconscious lips with words from fate. It is going to be a fateful speech of Ashwapati. It is going to change the course of events. It is rather going to take the events forward, make things move forward. O Spirit, traveler of eternity, it is only Ashwapati who can recognize that his daughter is a traveler of eternity. She has come from somewhere with a certain purpose, and she is a traveler here to take things to eternity along with her. O Spirit, traveler of eternity, who came from the immortal spaces here, he already knows where from she has come. He had prayed to the Divine Mother, please send one human form of thee to change things here. Who came from the immortal spaces here, armed for the splendid hazard of thy life. Yes, she has taken the mortal birth. Therefore, this mortal birth is going to be hazardous, going to be dangerous, going to be full of peril. There can be difficulties in the course of her work. She has to meet them also. But at the same time, all right, there are difficulties. She is armed to face them, to counter them, to dismiss them also. And for the splendid hazard of thy life, to set thy conquering foot on chance and time. Yes, that is what we have come here for. We have come here for that. The moon shut in her halo dreams like the moon comes and dismisses all night, the darkness of night. A mighty presence still defends thy frame, still defends thy frame, still she has taken the human birth. She is the mighty presence. The divine herself is here in Savitri, but she has taken the human birth. And even in this human condition, there is something which defends her here against the attacks of mortality. A mighty presence still defends thy frame. Perhaps the heavens guard thee for some great soul. So he's already initiating. Look, Savitri, go and find your mate, you see. Perhaps the heavens guard thee for some great soul. Thy fate, thy work are kept somewhere afar, not in the palace. You have to move out now to the palace and do your work for which you have come here. Somewhere afar, thy spirit kept not down a star alone. You cannot just remain one now. You have to find your life's partner. Oh, living inscription of the beauty of love. This is what Savitri is, the inscription of beauty. Living, obviously, measured in aureate virginity, measured. So that is the textbook for all prayers and rites. Is it not so? For mass performances they use for mass. Missal, missal. So she is that, the textbook where all the rituals, all the rites, all the prayers are written down. Measured in aureate virginity. She is a virgin, she has to now get married. In aureate virginity, What message of heavenly strength and bliss in thee is written with the eternal sun white script? One shall discover and greaten with it his life, to whom thou loosenest thy heart's jeweled string, to whom you offer your heart. It is his life which will be greatened, is written with eternal sun white script. One shall discover and greaten with it his life, to whom thou loosenest thy heart's jeweled string. O rubies of silence, lips from which there stole low laughter. You smile beautifully, sweetly, as if the laughter is getting stolen from the lips. Music of tranquility. This is an oxymoron. Music of tranquility. You see, what a wonderful thing. But you see, in quiet it happens. You see, music of tranquility. Star lustrous eyes, awake in sweet large night, and limbs like fine linked poems made of gold. Stands hat to glimmering curves by artist gods. Depart where love and destiny call for your charm. She's told Savitri, go ahead and find out your life's partner. Depart where love and destiny. See, it's not just love. Love is also accompanied by destiny, because it is after the discovery of love she has to meet destiny. And it is for that purpose, to meet the destiny, she had taken this human birth. Otherwise, what's the purpose of taking the human birth? She must meet destiny. And that is what Ashwapati, the yogi, sees it and knows it. Ashwapati seems to be a wonderful poet also, you see. the, the way in which he is writing all these things. Oh, rubies of silence, he is addressing his daughter in such poetic phrases. Oh, rubies of silence, lips from which there stole low laughter, music of tranquility, starless as eyes awake in sweet, large night, and limbs like fine linked poems made of gold, stanzas to glimmering curves of by artist God. Depart where love and destiny call your charm. Venture through the deep world to find thy mate. He's now making it very specific. For somewhere on the longing breast of earth, thy unknown lover waits for thee, the unknown. You are unknown to him, he is unknown to you. Thy unknown lover waits for thee, the unknown. Thy soul has strength and needs no other guide. Yes, go ahead. I don't try to search for one for you. Your soul can find and discover him. Thy soul has strength and needs no other guide than one who burns within thy bosom's power. It is that one who is burning in the breast. It is that who will give you all the necessary help, guide. He will guide you. Thy soul has strength and needs no other guide than one who burns within thy bosom's power. There shall draw near to meet thy approaching steps while she is going to the forest. He will draw nearer to you from the other side. In fact, this is what we'll see in the next book. There shall draw near to meet the approaching strain. The second self for whom thy nature asks. It is necessary for you to fulfill by combining, by joining your second self. He who shall walk until thy body's end. That is the necessary condition, to walk until thy body's end, till the finest details of the physical. It is not only in the soul, not only in the mind, not in the heart, but even to the last bit of physical necessity of transformation, or whatever you want to call it. It is that he will join. He who shall walk until the body's end, a close bound traveller, pacing with thy pace, the lyrist of thy soul's most intimate chords, who shall give voice to what in thee is mute. Now that is the greatness of her life's partner. It is he who is given to voice to her what is silent, what is mute. The power of expression, the power of performing what she has come here to do here will come through him. In fact, that is the contribution of Satyavan. Otherwise, it is the story of Savitri. But it is he who will give voice to what in thee, in her, is silent, is mute, is unexpressed, which must come into manifestation. Who shall give voice to what in thee is mute? Then shall you grow like a vibrant kindred harp. Then two of you will be one harp responding to another harp. One in the base of difference and delight. Two, because each one has his own swabhava, his own character, his own personality, his own soul's fulfillment, but they will complement each other. Base of difference and delight, responsive in divine and equal strains, discovering new notes of the eternal theme. So, this is what the two harps will do. They will play the music to discover new music. The eternal theme will be played by them on their harps. One force shall be your mover and your guide. One light shall be around you and within. Hand in strong hand, confront heaven's question, life. So that is the question which is put by heaven itself, life. This is a purposeful question put by heaven, life. Yes, life is there. Life. What is the question of life? Life as it is haunted, chased constantly by death. And it is that question which has been put by heaven itself. Yes, life is there, but always followed by death. Is there a solution for that? And hand in strong hand, confront. Savitri has to confront that question which has been put by heaven. It has been, so to say, heavenly designed at the moment that life must be followed by death. So that out of that possibility, a greater life, a diviner life can come. Challenge the ordeal of the immense disguise. Who is putting that question? The immense disguise. It is the challenge of that immense disguise which is questioning life here. What is that immense disguise? Death. Disguise, the Supreme Himself, who has stationed Himself into the void, He has put on the guise of death. And it is the shadow of truth in the lower creation here, which is now to be faced in life. Savitri has to meet that shadow and dismiss it, dispel that thing totally. Challenge the ordeal, that's the ordeal. She has to pass through that ordeal of the immense disguise. It has been, so to say, purposely put there so that the true life emerges from it. Ascend from nature to divinity's heights. Yes, you have taken the mortal birth, but ascend to your own heights, your supreme heights. Ascend from nature to divinity's height. Face the high gods crowned with felicity. It is not only the question of the immense disguise which Savitri has to meet. She has to also face the high gods. The high gods are, so to say, stuck in their own formations, in their own typal nature. They are fixed in their own manner. They would not change at all. Shiva is Shiva, Vishnu is Vishnu. They will remain as they are all the while. They are stuck there. Savitri does not want to get stuck like that. She has to move forward. Therefore, she has to meet even these high gods. Face the high god, crowned. Yes, of course, they are crowned with felicity, but they are not opening out the ever growing possibilities of manifestation of the spirit in this creation. That is the shortcoming of the high gods. If they want to participate in this growth or the fuller manifestation of the spirit, they had to take human birth. They can't just sit there and think. They had to come down here. Face the high gods, crowned with felicity, then meet a greater God, thyself beyond time. That is the advice Ashwapati is giving to his daughter. He is essentially telling her, go around and find your life's partner so that all these things get fulfilled in your life. Ascend from nature to divinity's heights. That is the purpose, to ascend to divinity's heights. Face the high God, crowned with felicity. Then meet a greater God, thyself beyond time. Now, immense disguise is, of course, death, the embodied nothingness, the void which has embodied itself to present itself to Savitri. It is that disguise. Savitri is going to dismiss. Now she has to meet the greater God. In fact, that is what will happen in the book of Everlasting Day, 11th book. She is going to meet there the greater God. And it is this greater God who is going to grant to Savitri the boon of a divine life upon earth. It is he who is going to grant that thing. First condition is, of course, dismiss death, remove death from the way, then only the supramental manifestation can occur. So, Ashwapati is sort of already chalking out a kind of a program for Savitri. And the first step which she has to take is to find her mate. Without that, as I said, unless he is there, she cannot get fulfilled. Who shall give voice to what in thee is mute? If that has to find expression, she has to have a mate. And what is that expression? That later on the greater God will give her that boon, the divine life. So this is the role of Satyavan also in that direction, which is mentioned here. And then it goes on. I think we'll stop with that. Is it all right? Yeah, we'll just find that. Pardon me? It's very tight, you see. Very tight, you see. Huh? No, we'll do next time. It's a long, it's a little intricate passage also. It's not easy passage. Well, we can read quickly, and then we'll take it up again. Yeah, we'll say read this page. This word was seed of all the things to be. So he has already told you this is what is going to happen, to be. A hand from some greatness opened her heart's locked doors and showed the word for which her strength was born. That is the greatness of a yogi. When the yogi utters the word, use an advice, it is that word which carries power. And it is that power which starts acting in the person who receives it. Ashwapati is a yogi. Showed the word for which her strength was born. It is that which is now kindled up by Ashwapati. As when the mantra sings in yoga's ear. See, Ashwapati's advice or whatever he has told her is a mantra which has gone into the ear of Savitri. And it is the power of that mantra now which is going to work in Savitri. He is telling it in the form of a simile, but it is actually that mantra which is working in Savitri's soul. As when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, its message enters stirring the blind brain and keeps the dim, ignorant cells its sound. The hearer understands the form of words and, musing on the index thought it holds, he strives to read it with a laboring mind. but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth. The delivering mind cannot find the embodied truth. Then, falling silent in himself to know, he meets the deeper listening of his soul. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strain. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body itself sees unanswerably, and he endures an ecstasy and an immortal change. He feels a wideness and becomes a power. That is what the mantra does when the mantra sings. He feels a wideness and becomes a power. All knowledge rushes on him like a sea, transmuted by the white spiritual ray. He walks in naked heavens of joy and calm. See the God face and hears transcendent speech and equal greatness in her life was born. The moment Savitri heard that thing, that greatness was born in her life.